Hey, how's it going? Y'all hear T talking, interrupting my toilet talk time, huh? Don't even ask why he's watching me on the toilet. So, I want to let you guys know that this will be the last episode of Toilet Talk from this television studio, aka bathroom. I'll be finding a new bathroom to continue the series. We're doing something a little different this episode. I got an email from somebody who has a problem asking for my advice. Dear AC, I am an attractive woman who has been married for 30 years. Through the years, I've seen the telltale signs and confronted... Oh, I apologize. I think my husband has been cheating on me for most of them. Through the years, I've seen the telltale signs and confronted him many times. But he continually tells me, no, he would never do anything like that. I've tried hard to stay with him, although I feel stupid for doing it. You see, my parents were married for 62 years. And I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers who have never been divorced or separated. So I'd feel like a failure if I left him. I need to know for sure whether he has cheated, but I don't know how to prove it. I found a letter in his wallet, notes slid under my door at work, and actually saw him touch another woman in a sexual manner years ago. My friends say if it walks and quacks, it's a duck. I've asked him many times to go to counseling, and he always says he will, but we never do. I no longer want to continue living with this man. There has got to be something better than always waiting for the next bomb to drop. AC, please help me. I need advice. Well, she gives her name. I'm not going to disclose it. Now, before I get into this issue and how I feel about it and how I think the problem may or may not be able to be solved, I need a little warm water in my asshole. So if you guys will bear with me. Okay. Nope. There it goes. Okay. I'll adjust my cheeks. Okay. It's a touchy subject. There's a few lines she mentioned in particular. Once I read it all the way through, I wanted to touch on. You're an attractive woman who's been married for 30 years. My dear, okay? I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. Let's say you got married to him when you were 20, which is pretty young, right? And you've been married to him for 30 years. That would mean that you're 50. The first thing you said is that you're an attractive woman. Now here he is banging the same woman, hypothetically, right? Banging the same woman for 30 years and banging a 50-year-old woman. He signed up for a 20-year-old woman. He didn't sign up for a 50-year-old woman. Is he cheating? I mean, do you need me to tell you yes? But at the same time, let me ask you, is he loving? Is he supportive? Is he simply having casual protected sex with these women, or does he have feelings for them? Is he going to break up your family because of them? The fact of the matter is, my dear, in 10 years, you're going to be 60 years old. And that's assuming you got married at 20. If you married him at 30, then you're already 60 years old. And in 10 years, you'll be 70 and very, very dried up. When you say you're attractive, I mean, you didn't include any photos of yourself. It was just an email. I mean, Jennifer Lopez is getting older and she's still pretty hot. So I guess it can happen every now and then. But every now and then man bites dog. Usually dog bites man. I mean, just because there's an exception to the rule, it doesn't mean that you are that exception. And I hate to be so brass and blunt with you, but I think he's been cheating on me through most of them. Yeah, he probably has. Through the years, I've seen telltale signs and confronted him many times, but he continually tells me no, he would never do. I mean, what is he going to tell you? What does he want? You blowing up on him? I've tried to stay with him, although I feel stupid for doing it. Why don't you do the same thing? You want to fuck me? I'll fuck you. I'll fuck you. How about that? I'll fuck you, and then you can feel like you got back at him, okay? Your parents were married for 62 years. That was a different time, my dear. Things like that used to happen in that day and age. And by the way, you don't know for sure that your father didn't have a little side pussy. You really don't. I mean, I hate to say that, but you really don't. There's no way that you would know that. And believe me, if he hasn't had any, he's thought about it, at least from time to time. 2 sisters and 3 brothers who've never been divorced or separated. Once again, just because they've never been divorced or separated does not mean that there hasn't been some infidelity. And if they are people of faith, Jesus said the thought is as bad as the deed. If they've ever thought about sex with someone else, it's as bad as doing it. So I feel like a failure if I left him. That's it, isn't it, my dear? You don't want to feel like a failure. Never mind the children, if there are children, about how they would feel having their parents separated. You don't want to feel like a failure. I mean, I hate to pick on you when you're down, but I mean, you're putting it right here. It's not about the relationship. It's about you and you not wanting to fail. And once again, if you fuck someone else, you wouldn't be failing, right? You'd be doing what he's doing. I need to know for sure whether he has cheated. I think you know. I know. If I know, you should know. I never met neither of you, and I know. But I don't know how to prove it. Yes, you do, because the next sentence, you tell me how you prove it. I found a letter in his wallet. Proof! Note slid under my door at work. Proof! And here's the big one. And I actually saw him touch another woman in a sexual manner years ago. Proof! My friends say if it walks and quacks, it's a duck. Well, your friends are right. But once again, you got to take some responsibility. This is the man that you chose. And listen, he might love you, but you're getting older. You've been married to him for 30 years. You probably met him when you were 20, meaning you're 50. You forgot to include that part. 25, meaning you're 55. Maybe you even married him when you're 30, meaning that you're 60 years old already. When guys go pick up a Playboy magazine, how many of those women are 60 years old? It's a very small fetish out there of men who are into 60-year-olds. And let's say you were 20 when you met him and you stayed looking 20. Let's say you took some magical pill that kept you 20 years old the entire time. Still, that's 30 years of fucking the same woman. Now, I have feelings that you love someone, you value them, you don't want to ruin it. You might want to keep your dick in your pants just because you don't want to ruin the valuable relationship that you have. I do get that. I understand that. I respect that. And I agree with that. However, what he's doing is understandable. He wants to come. Plain and simple. He wants to come. I've asked him many times to go to counseling and always says he will, but we never do. Have you ever left him? And he comes begging for you back, and you tell him, hey, I'm not going to take you back unless we go to counseling. Maybe if you try that, maybe then you'd have a different result. But you got to leave first. Pack your shit and leave. I do think the counseling is a good idea. I no longer want to continue living with this man. Exactly. That's why you need to pack your shit and leave. And when he comes begging for you back, you tell him that counseling is mandatory if you even want to entertain the idea of taking him back. There's got to be something better than always waiting for the next bomb to drop. AC, please help. What's your advice? Well, I think I gave you my advice. I don't know if you're going to follow my advice. You better be lucky my cigar didn't go out this whole time I've been reading that. I would have been pissed at you, my dear. No, I'm joking. But Yeah, I mean, I want you to take my advice to heart. We all have demons. This guy may have a sexual urge that unfortunately is breaking up his family. But there are some things, as much as it hurts, you know, I feel like you're a tad bit delusional. The fact that you say you don't know for sure that he's cheating, the fact that you started out by claiming you're attractive and then giving away that you're not that attractive by saying you've been married for 30 years. Let me tell you something. I have a hard time even talking to a woman who was born 30 years ago, let alone married 30 years ago. Okay. Anyway, I wish you the best of luck. I know what I said might have come across a bit harsh. I mean no disrespect, but you don't come to me for sugarcoating bullshit. You come to me for the real. You want truth, you want honesty, and that's why you wrote to me. And anyone else who would like advice, you can do what she did. I'll leave your name anonymous like I left hers anonymous unless you'd like to have your name named. Any kind of advice in anything in life, you can email me. CNO Enterprise. ENTERPRISE. Not enterprises, enterprise. CNO Enterprise at AOL.com. You might be saying, AOL, isn't that? So what? Who cares? It's old school. I'm old school, goddammit. CNO Enterprise at AOL.com. Email me. I'm here for you. I'm going to give it to you straight up. Anyways, I'd like to thank you for joining me today's episode of Toilet Talk. It's been a pleasure. You know, this is the first time in Toilet Talk history we have a studio audience. Here we have the homie T-Mac watching me sit as I shit. Make sure y'all check out his book, T-Mac Life Stories. What don't kill you make you stronger. I love y'all. It's time to flush this bitch. Peace.